Hello, everyone. My name is Yuta Jazz, and today we are going to do a random. My camera, I hope, is all right. Oh, fucking no. It's kind of funny that it started like going a little bit lag as I started this. But anyway, as I was saying, we're gonna do a random card read just because I can't do a pick a pile. As I'm recording this, and I'm probably gonna upload it on the same day or a day after, we had the solstice, we had a whole freaking full moon, we're about to have an eclipse, there's some other retrograde shit happening, there's a bunch of shit happening. Literally, like springtime equinox is the biggest thing on like the year, in my opinion. It's one of the biggest like periods of time with certain stuff that's occurring and happening, and I don't have neither the health nor the energy to do a whole pickup pile, so I decided I am going to do a general, just a general. So the way I do generals is I just read cards as they come out and see what comes out. I don't ask a question. I don't really make it specifically to the collective or other stuff. I've just started, like, even on Twitch, doing just chatting where I'm just pulling cards and reading them. And whatever comes up, and it comes up for many different collectives. It comes up with different messages. Usually, I do have one intent or have been experimenting with it for the last little while of like, I would like it to be helpful for anyone that listens, so it's not just like particular general, but more so if you, let's say, were to be out in public, right, and you hear this exchange between people, that it, even if it doesn't personally include you or has anything to do with you or has any energy or meaning or whatever behind it within you, right? It's not a relevant topic. It doesn't mean anything, nothing about it. Um, that you still kind of benefit from it. I don't know. It just helps you. It just feels good. It just is something to listen to. It's an interesting point, you know. So yeah, I am kind of, as I'm holding this deck though, feeling like I wanna cleanse it. So that could be a sign or a point for you to do some cleansing, but I'm gonna come back before we start reading and cleanse the deck. Okay, there we go. I wanted to do it after the last stream, but I just got sat the fuck down and was like, no, 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 you go rest, girl. Your decks will be okay. And I'm like, but I want to clear and cleanse them. It's like, wait, wait. Yeah, lots of readings on Twitch. Mostly good vibes, but you know, sometimes you have those deep, big readings, and um, I also like I do healings with my cards. I don't know why it's coming up, but I feel like I need to or want to mention that. I do healings with my readings. So my cards also kind of go through the experience of doing that as well. Um, I've figured out how to do it in a way that's gonna be healthiest for everyone involved, and it's not gonna like tear the fucking deck apart, but yeah. It's kind of magic what you can do with tarot and how it's going to come about, you know? What's going to actually like occur with it. All right. I might use multiple decks, but currently, as we have it, we have the Empress, we have the Two of Cups reversed, we then have the Three of Cups upright, and the Eight of Cups upright as well. So a lot of emotional energy, all cups basically. Um, You are doing really, really well in going away and alchemizing the experiences of the past of like relationships lost and how they might have made you feel either insignificant or like you can't take care of yourself. Primarily, that's what this is talking to for me, is Anyone and anything that really kind of went against you feeling like you can take care of yourself, like you can relax, like you can nurture yourself, like you can breathe, and you don't need to do all that much, right? Like the relationships that were kind of keeping you limited and stagnant, and discourse and disagreements and constantly kind of like taking from you instead of giving to you, right? All of that is going away. I feel like there's a bit of a challenge in celebrating this because it's still in the middle of like the transition, right? It's kind of like there's still a going away energy instead of like coming to. And that is proven to be the case with the top and the bottom of the deck, which is also out on the table, and that is the Page of Wands up, the Page of Wands reversed on the top of the deck, and the Four of Wands on the bottom being upright. So that transition, or that feeling of like coming to respite, or actually making it to the other side, or actually finally I've gotten what I wanted, or I've gotten to this point of where I can actually say I have something, or I can relax and enjoy it, right? It is coming. It's a definite. That's the whole point of this whole entire like process and shifting, but it's just not quite happening quite yet. The journey isn't beginning right now because there's still the energy of endings and conclusions and internal realizations of not only who you are and your potential, but also like letting bygones be bygones within yourself. I'm not necessarily thinking or saying that this is you forgiving a bunch of people and having a bunch of interactions with them. Some of you are more hermit and internal, others of you are probably having these conversations and these difficult experiences of like moving out of home, breaking up with partners, sorting out documents, or on divorce, or having to talk with, kids or friends or something about the situations, and having that process of experience of actually like talking through it, or having it seen, or having it known, right? Um, Primarily the importance of this whole entire experience is like you understanding your worth, and that you can be happy doing what actually makes you feel happy without being taken from, being misled, mistreated, and being stuck in those relationships and having it kind of like be to your detriment but to other people's benefit, right? You're not to be left out on the in the cold and be feeling like you're not good enough, because you are definitely good enough. You're kind of the person that makes things work anyway. You're the person that brings it all together. You're the person that is maybe the it factor of the friend groups or of the family, right? Maybe you're the breadwinner. Maybe you're the person that makes like the experiences matter or feel cozy, or like they have purpose and a point to them. And really, that's what really matters at the end of the day, right? It's not necessarily if you are the person that's the breadwinner, or you have this role, or you have this status, or you have this and that, or whatever, it's actually like how do you make people feel, and how do you give life, basically. Because life can be a lot of things, but if there's no purpose or feeling behind it, then it's empty, and you're the person that makes it feel less empty. You're the person that actually brings it color and meaning. And I feel like you've just been around people that have neglected the relationships you've had. They've neglected you in response to that too. And regardless of like what was the practical like setting of things, you've really made things feel alive, and others have taken it to they've taken it to heart in a way where they kind of made you out to be someone that wasn't good enough, or someone that wasn't like really there to their potential, because it's like the insecurity was talking behind it, like, oh, I need to put this person down basically, because I don't really feel like I have that much purpose or meaning, or I don't really bring the vibes they bring. Um, and there's a lot of envy and jealousy and kind of like me because of whatever they could find to tear your image apart. to make you seem like you aren't the actual empress. And this is, gender neutral. Whether you're a man or a woman, you are that nurturing force that actually like creates the whole connection in the circle or the flow in the community, or you bring in the cash, as it were, the sustainability, the real like abundance behind things. It's not other people. It's always been you. And I think you're starting to see that all of the signs you were seeing and all of the weird, like, little details were signs that other people were in their ego using other people and circumstances to their benefit the best they could to just save their hide from feeling sorry for themselves, or like not really doing what they needed to do within relationships and getting away with more than they should have, right? And that you were kind of always going by value and integrity. Maybe you've kind of mistreated some people or acted a bit selfish in some scenarios, but honestly, I can see that you also were going against a lot. Um, and everything was a bit more superficial than actual personal stuff. Like maybe you felt like you had everything in terms of results or profit, right? Maybe you were always sorted in terms of items or other things, but you never really felt like you were actually connecting with people, or you weren't actually feeling like you were seen or appreciated or really supported by the heart of things. You only really got like enough to get by in certain ways or in many ways, or just like for things to be okay, but they didn't feel okay. They worked out okay, but they felt really underwhelming and maybe at times even like unfair and abusive, and that's because like people literally weren't giving, they were taking from you what they could, especially emotionally and energetically, and you were kind of getting a superficial response from it that was not enough for you. You saw that that was just like fake celebrations, right? Fake love, fake support, fake family, fake friends, fake relationships. And you are going away from a lot of heartache, a lot of disappointment, and a lot of mistreatment. You've had to figure this all out yourself and finally admit that you were actually the emotional breadwinner is how it's coming across. You were the person that really made it matter, honestly. So, yeah. Let's pull some cards from the Shaman Shamanic Oracle deck. Yeah. Shamanic Oracle deck. Oh, Okay. So either this is happening or is about to happen. So there's a few things happening and there's a few things not happening. So we got Sweat Lodge upright, the Seer reverse, and Rainbow upright. So you basically are you're you're kind of at the last stage of having to figure all of this out and internalize the process of like understanding your real true worth and who you are and how important that is and how everything around you wasn't vibing at the same level, and that you were maybe, indulging in some things or mistreating the situation as well in some ways, but primarily you had the right desires, right intentions, right flow of vibes, right? Because you are breaking out of this. Most people are being stuck where they are, and you might be even having this experience of them trying to keep you in a certain place. Um, but honestly, you are coming out of it. It's kind of really weird because most of the times I've seen that figure in the middle going into the sweat lodge. And these days, the last, two, three readings I've done, when I get this card, it's like the person is coming out of the sweat lodge. Um, and it's really interesting because it is speaking to doing shadow work and purging and releasing and having a really deep experience where you're kind of just encased in the dome of it, right? You're basically like the person in isolation, having to really go through the personal healing that it involves, of facing, your toxic behaviors, your unhealthy desires or ambitions, or your ignorance of your own self and how that co-created like abusive or toxic experiences, or just understanding and accepting and really sitting with the realization that the people you've surrounded yourself with weren't the people you thought they were, which all of those are really hard topics. They're really sensitive. They need time. They take time. The closer it is to home, the more patience you need to have with yourself, and the more you need to invest in like comfort and like whatever pleasure you can have, and really taking things easy and being supportive towards yourself. Because when you're in the sweat lodge, you only have yourself most of the time, as much as maybe some things might be there to help you through the process or reflect certain things. Primarily, you're the one that's feeling this out, talking to yourself, like giving yourself space and facing these things without the necessary, like, you know, support or environment, or as much as you would like to have like this or that, you don't necessarily have that because it's an inside job, it's a personal endeavor. And even like in this card, that bird is literally showing that like spirit is observing and around, but spirit is not involved because you're the person in the dome. You're the person that is also going through this process as it's a deep ending, and the sun is setting. Maybe also, it's been a humongous long night, and it's still like the sun is about to rise, but you don't see it, right? The clouds and the horizon is still in this murky color of like it's not really light out. Um, and yeah, you don't have actual sunlight. It's still fucking cold, it's still goddamn dark, and you're still kind of waking up to certain things and ideas and realizations. Um, so the 54 on here is a number of endings, the nine, right? Complete change, instability, and structure of what actually was like there to be your foundation. It's all being abolished, and it's being done away with. And it's interesting that the other card is the seer, which is the 45, but it's reversed. So trying to gain stability in the shifts and changes, but not really having that because it's hard to admit the endings, but it's also like hard to admit your own strengths in this process. Um, it's also kind of like, can we also get the fuck out of here already? I'm done with this. This has been going on for way too long. I just want to start living my life or something. I just want something good to work out. I just want some respite. I just want to like connect with someone finally, right? Um, Honestly, with this card being reversed, I think a lot of you, even if you're trying to do it, it might be just elusive and difficult. You're not seeing your own fullest potential currently, which is like you are a master in the dark. You are actually coming through a humongous portal. You are doing so well and so much, and I think some of you might be having occasional struggles with being a bit uh, self-demeaning and critical and just a bit just angsty and angry at yourself and the circumstance, which is understandable. Like no, no one's saying anything, but it's not helping you or serving you because you'd be better off if you could actually like be as supportive as you can, as accepting as you can towards yourself and the circumstance that you're going through, because ultimately things that aren't good for you are falling away. You're going to gain the achievements that you've always really wanted to gain, or you've strived to even begin, right? You're actually going to achieve the lifestyle that you wanted, or you're going to start actually creating it, and it's actually going to work this time. And besides that, you aren't giving yourself slack for how hard this is and how important it is and how much goodness is gonna come from it. Yeah, it sucks right now, but you're beautiful in the process that you're going through, and you're really achieving high strides. You're achieving more than others could say for the same circumstance or situation. Like, this isn't easy. A lot of people don't even get here. They're like, fuck this shit, I ain't doing this. Um, but if this reading found you randomly, you are one of those people that really stuck to your guns and just was like, I'm making the most out of it. Like, I don't want to be the same as everyone else. I don't want to go through the same shit. I don't want to join the masses and being ignorant. I don't want to be abusive. I don't want to be toxic. I don't want to be a nasty piece of work and have everything revolve around me in that same manner and way. I want to be really living. I want to really be myself. I want to feel free in that, and I want to be fucking happy finally. That's who I truly am, not some fabrication, not some mask, not some conditional ass. I heard ho or wanted to say ho, but I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. But we're gonna go with Ho because I'm thinking more of the tool now instead of the actual, person. But you could see it as a person too, right? Like giving their power and creativity and sexual like attraction or prowess away um, for the point of just some slight material gain, right? Um, it's like the experience of you is so much more bigger and so much more impactful than the dollars in the world, really, right? I'm not disrespecting anyone that has those interests or works in that line of work or anything. I'm just using it as a metaphor and example in this light. Many people are great for it and are important and needed and have fun with it. And also, there's a lot of like also darkness surrounding that whole thing. But I'm not delving into all of those particularities. I'm just using it for the metaphor of it. Um, so yeah, you really are doing a lot. Give yourself some slack and like accept the light and the darkness of it for yourself, like in more comfort. Because you are the seer, and you're about to fly. Like that is a guarantee that you are going to feel aligned in your energy. You're going to feel aligned in your mental body and your metaphysical body and your emotional body. Like all of the bodies are going to be aligned. You are going to be like that perfect focus point that feels like it is like the center of the universe, the center of your own universe. Things are actually like moving the way they need to. It's like a perfectly oiled machine. Energy is flowing, manifestations are happening. You have your focus in your mind. You're not bringing in crap you don't want. You're not getting suffocated by other people's shit. You have good boundaries. You reflect things that aren't serving you. You actually stand by things that are good for you, and you actually feed into them. You let them come to like the best vibe ever, right? You co-create in the sense of either community or like your own ecosystem of love. This card is really kind of speaking to me of like not just being free and flowing and kind of feeling like you can fly finally, right? You can actually go and experience life and have it give you what you've always wanted, which is basically you kind of living through it and creating it for yourself. But it also speaks to if you've been having like energetical issues, like a lot of like purging symptoms, illnesses come up and go, you don't have energy. It's like lethargy and lethargy, right? You sleep a lot, you have headaches, or your stomach's funky and weird, or literally for the freaking mystics and all the rest. Like You're tired of the spiritual warfare going on. You're tired of the purging. You're tired of the chakra centers being either blocked or out of whack, or you having to constantly keep getting rid of shit or whatever it is, right? All of it is gonna come to an end. It's just right now it's literally the end point, and it is getting everything out as much as you can, and it's kind of like you can't skip this process. It has to happen the way it's happening, because otherwise it's just gonna be lackluster. It's gonna be like you don't want to mess up the alchemy of it, right? Like how in chemistry, if you don't do it right, it can cause explosions. It can cause the chemical itself to be not just unstable, but maybe it's not even the right fucking chemical, and you wanted that particular chemical, right? Same goes in with physics, right? On more of a practical way or term is like cooking and baking can be used for the same analogy of like you don't want it to be raw when you take out the cake, right? Not the cake, I don't know, the frickin' roast or whatever. You also don't necessarily want to mess up the trick you're doing currently. If it's, let's say, exercising or making that perfect journey, like in frickin' Red Bull videos that you see, right? They practice so much to pull it off the thing they want to pull off, and it's kind of like you can't skip the steps for it, right? You got to be focused and concentrated, and you got to see it to the end, through the end. So this is the same thing. Yeah, I guess you could bail out now, but what's the point of it when you've been literally setting everything up to this point of perfection and you're gonna get exactly what you desired and wanted? It's just like you need to go through this last step, and it's just like don't give up. Be supportive on yourself. That's the best thing you can do because it's gonna make it definitely easier. So. Okay, so this is a different message coming around overall. I think this is just because we touched on the relationship stuff previously. Um, I don't know who's on that like relationship romantic journey of like love and all the rest, but it's not happening yet because one, this needs to roll out and cycle out and finish out. It's kind of like both of you are stewing in your own alchemy. And besides that, you can only really meet together when you are actually of the same vibe, right? You don't, if you get better, but they're still rolling through some of their crap, like you're still gonna have a great experience of doing what you're gonna be doing. Maybe it's gonna be like just kind of resting from the process you had. Maybe it's actually starting something new, but you don't want a person coming in that's gonna drag you back into your lower vibes while they're trying to escape like their process, right? Or still like trying to close off their end of experience, right? That they just went through either in life or abuse or career or other things, right? So it's not happening yet because you need to go through your cycle and finish it out, and they need to go through their cycle and they need to finish it out. And I feel like neither of you are quite there yet. One of you might finish before the other one does, but it's kind of like you are trying to perfectly align to do it at the same time, in the same light, and in the same way. So keep the faith, I guess, is the best way. Don't get mad or angry on the journey of like love that you're going through. Focus maybe on like prayer for yourself and for them, and just bringing light to the current fantasy of it. Don't fantasize too much that it's unhealthy, but do bring in prayer of like it will happen. I wish for both of us to have like a good experience in going through life and figuring ourselves out and getting through our cycles that we're closing out so we don't actually have the karma that we're trying to freaking remove from ourselves, right, in our lives, so we don't bring it into the new experience of having new people that are actually meant for us. is how it's coming across. So, yeah, that was your reads. I hope this helps and you enjoy for whoever this randomly is. Thank you so much for, clicking on the video, watching it. If this has helped you, just leave a like, please. And if you don't, that's fine too. I will see you next time. Peace.